Namaskar, my dear friends. Let us continue the explanation for development board schematic that is there from CrossLink-NX FPGA family of Lattice Semiconductor. So we have discussed up to user IOs like how to connect LEDs, push buttons and deep switches and serializer, deserializers as well as oscillators and their different options. Okay. We have also discussed about camera modules and other parts. So now we'll continue the next part of the circuit. So up to this page we have completed. Okay. So as you can see, the next part is we have P mode connector. Okay, so in general purpose boards or like evaluation boards, the options they have given is this particular 12 pin dual like row connector. So this dual row connector actually helps you to connect separate like different parts of modules. Let's say I2C devices or SPI devices or like UART devices. So there are various sensors or something like that. They are coming up with like pin configuration of this line, okay, or this like. So we have the power supply as well as we have ground. So you can see two pins are power supply, two pins are ground. Let me make it bigger. So you can see two pins are power supply and two pins are ground, okay. And then total 8 pins are available for your various functionality that has been interfaced to your FPGA bank 7. So this particular FPGA bank 7 has been interfaced with 3 P mode connector. One is here, one more is this one and one more is this one, okay. And this particular pins will be going to some other place of this FPGA. That's the reason they are off page connectors here, okay. Now you can see we have like power supply separately for this particular bank, which is VCC IO 7. So we'll talk about power supply rating of each of the banks, like what is my VCC IO 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all of them at one power tree is there it will be mentioned the power supply voltage rails, okay. So this was all about like a PMOD connector of JTAG. If you want to see this particular like a pin or this particular section, I'll just show it to you in the evaluation board circuit. So let me show it to you. Yes. So as you can see, this is the top view of your evaluation board that I am explaining you right now about the circuit. So this is the PMOD connector that is visible here. So this one more and one more. So these three PMOD connectors are there and this is the FPGA. Okay. Let us move to the next page. So now the most important part is the FPGA configuration. Okay, so in FPGA configuration, as you can see, we have the bank 0 FPGA configuration block. In that we have all the signals that is needed. Like we have init function, we have program n function, and then done pin function, right? Then we have quad SPI interface block. So quad SPI, you can see DQ0, DQ1, 2, 3, and DQ01 is actually MOSI and MISO lines. And then we have chip select pin and we have SPI clock pin. Okay. So these are dedicated pin for your FPGA, like configuration through the SPI. And then we have PMOD connector here that has been used in this block. So that is not a problem. Okay. Now, probably these two are used for some I2C application that we'll have to figure out. Okay. Next part is these are the three, like LEDs that has been used for various functionality. Let us say we have like initialize function. So init indicator will light if an error occurs during the configuration program. So what will happen is basically this init is actually connected at this location. Okay. So whenever there is an error, this init line goes low. Okay. So if it goes low, what will happen? This particular VCC IO will drive this LED to high. So this is how LED will start glowing. Okay. Similar to that, and at the same time, this init pin is open drain. That's the reason you can see it is pulled up also. So pulled up with 10K. So this is the circuit that you can design for your init application. Coming back to the program n pin, the program n pin you can see whenever you want to like reset or something like that, if there is something that goes wrong, you can press this particular switch to reset it. Okay. So this is how like program n pin will get resetted. Another pin is done pin. So done pin, actually this particular LED will indicate configuration is complete successfully. Okay, so what will happen is this particular done pin will go high, and since this is again open drain pin, this is pulled up. Okay. So once it is pulled up, what will happen? This particular transistor will be biased, and this is how my LED will have a complete path to glow. So any other method also you can utilize. Let us say if you want to use, you can use a MOSFET here to glow this particular LED very nicely. So you understood about this particular init, program, and done pin. Now we have a parallel SPI configuration, like header. So you can see, you just now I explained you quad SPI lines and program and all init and CSS pin and everything. So you can use this particular 14 pin connector to configure the FPGA directly through SPI configurator. Okay. Then we have 128 megabits of SPI flash memory. So this particular flash memory is actually directly interfaced with the DQ lines of quad SPI. Okay, so just now you saw this is the quad SPI, and this is how it is going to get interfaced. Moving to the next part of the circuit, so we have voltage references that is needed for some ADC purposes. So you can see we have 3.3 volt here, and there is an IC that has been used to generate 1.8 volt V reference. So this is going to be 1.8 volt V reference of your ADC. These jumpers can be set to make it which one to be used. Okay, so either you want to use 1 volt or you want to use 1.8 volt. That's up to you. Similar to that, we have one more voltage reference IC. So this is also 1.8 volt reference IC, and this is also connected at this location. Okay. Coming back to the other parts, like they have ADC configuration. So you can see we have ADC positive line, ADC negative line. So we have ADC positive line, let us say. So this is the potentiometer that has been used, 10 kilo ohm potentiometer. And if you want, you can sort it and you can measure the like ADC measurement at this particular potentiometer. So this is a very nice example to try out your ADC functionality in this particular FPGA block. Okay. Then we have other headers where you can connect some other like ADC to be measured. So if you have a voltage level or something like that, which must be less than 1.8 volt, okay, that you have to make sure, and that can be directly connected at this header, and you can measure the ADC value of that particular output pins. Okay. Then we have ADC header here. So if you want, you can connect a daughter board or like external board, and where there are several ADC measurement that is required, that can be done through this particular, like there are four differential line you can see, like we have DP0 and DP1 pair. Okay, so that you can do. So what is the recommendation that they are giving you is, the Lattice Semiconductor is saying that keep noisy signal away from this ADC circuit. So this is the ADC block or part, you keep away from the noisy parts. Okay. So all right, this was all about this particular schematic. Now let us move to the next part. The most important part and the complex one is actually FPGA mezzanine connector. Okay, so you can see we have FPGA mezzanine connector, and mezzanine connectors are very like a high pin count. So you can see you have U9A, U9B. Okay, so there are two parts that is there for a single connector. Okay, if you want to see how does this look like, I'll show it to you in the board. So this is the mezzanine connector that is there, which is very high pin and very low pitch count. Okay, so you can see very low pitch and very high pin count. Okay, now coming back to the next part, we have bank 4. So in bank 4, you can see this is the actually connectors, FPGA FMC connector. Okay, so this FMC connector has to be interfaced with your FPGA. So how it is interfaced is, bank 4 it is interfaced with all these FMC lines you can see, and then we have bank 3 lines, which is all these FMC lines. We have parallel FMC configuration header also. So if you want to configure your FPGA through like external header, just like FPGA SPI parallel header was there, here we have like FMC configuration header. which is having like JTAG inputs. You can see TCK, TDI, TDO, and TMS. Okay, and then we have SCL and SDL lines as well. Along with that, we have power on reset buttons as well. Okay. Now coming back to the other parts, some more lines are there in the FMC. Okay, like FPGA mezzanine connector. So those are interfaced here in bank 5, and a power supply that has been designed. Okay, so you can see we have 12-volt input here, and this 12-volt input, this particular regulator is going to convert a several voltage levels of like TPV adjustment. Okay, so this TPV adjustment will be used for your FMC connector. Okay, and it can be directly connected to the V adjustable pin of this one. So you can see V adjustable 1 and V adjustable 2. These pins are actually used for the power supply connection of the external boards. Okay, and you can see you have four options. So this particular four options can be used to set the voltage level of different levels. Let us say 3.3 volt, or like 1.8 volt, or 2.5 volt. I'll have to see what is the like resistance that has been used to set what level of voltage. Okay, so you can see here they have given a note. They can set the values of 3.3 volt, 2.5 volt, 1.8 volt, and 1.5 volt. Okay. So by default, if all the jumpers are removed, then you can see 1 kilo ohm and 1.02 kilo ohm are used. So these two are going to set the voltage level to be 1.5 volt. So this TP will be 1.5 volt. If you want to set it to 3.3, what you have to do is jumper 6 has to be sorted, and that's all. This much you have to do, nothing else to be done. Okay. So alright guys, we'll keep up to this FMC connector, and then we'll proceed next in our next session. Thank you.